Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. And on this episode of Exploring Worlds, I've got a bit of a free day today, so I'm going to be doing some hiking around. I'm going to visit some people, visit some places, whatnot. And I think this video will just be called Reflections. It's just going to be me saying some stuff, talking about some stuff, and showing some scenery of some places I'm heading to and hiking around, and yeah, just kind of compiling a mini documentary, if you will, about just some stuff here on the Sunshine Coast that I happen to be most likely coming across today, and I hope you stick around and enjoy. 10 seconds.
I don't have anything to say this morning.
What's on your mind today, Peter?
What's on my mind is that life is short and that we all need to buy a beach house. In fact, everybody should have a house. This whole idea that homelessness exists is just absolutely one of the black marks, I think, of humanity. I think we can do better. I think if we just simply all united on this planet and just made sure everybody just had a home, you know, had their daily needs met, what a world this would be. It would be incredible. But
Yeah.
if you do that,
Yeah.
go ahead. The audio will focus in.
Oh, okay.
On this.
I didn't know that.
I know. It's very
Okay.
interesting.
I thought that was just a way to keep track of the scene, because they put it in front of the scene 1, scene
I'm
2.
thinking it's
but
also that.
Well, yeah.
But yeah. So
Okay.
it's,
Anyway, hello. I'm at the One Flower, One Leaf Gallery. This is, you know, you've seen this before. It's been on the channel before, but here I am. It's one of the days I usually make my way around here and talk to Peter about some artistic video-like collaborations. So, yeah, we'll talk about some stuff like that. Maybe I'll get some shots of some stuff I haven't filmed in here yet. We'll see what happens.
well, the first question I have for you today
Oh, there's questions already. Okay.
is how does it feel to be a space traveler?
A space traveler. I'm not a space traveler, actually. I'm a Earth traveler. By choice. I don't like things to do with space, really. I like the Earth.
You like the Earth?
I like the Earth, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why people want to go to space or want to colonize different planets.
So then questions pertaining to Earth are much more to your liking. So
Yeah.
how do you feel about, what do you think the root causes of show ponies are?
Show ponies.
Yes.
Is that like metaphorical for somebody who shows off all the time, or is that like literal?
Like actual, literally, like small ponies, and they just go on show. They're just, they're just.
Well, I think that it's pretty simple yet unique at the same time. I mean, horses are a beautiful animal, and ponies are sort of cool because they're like cute, like dog-sized pets, yet they still have the beauty of the horse. I think they're a good starter horse for like a kid or something that was like just wanting to get into horses but hadn't fully progressed to like big horse level yet.
Like horsepower.
Horsepower, yeah. And they're, yeah, so I think it would be a fun, like, I don't know, if there was a little, I wouldn't call it circus, but a little like event in Lower Gibsons where there was a bunch of ponies around and people were talking about them and looking at them and photographing them, and there was billboards of information up, I'd make my way around and hang out and see the ponies, and
Okay.
so, yeah, that's basically, that's that.
When was the time in your life that you felt like you had peak clarity?
Peak clarity? I'd say at about the age of 21 to 23.
Wow, 2 years.
Yeah.
What was the cause of this? The root cause?
Extreme health, extreme fitness, and the non-jadedness of failure to just have this drive to just go and feel good about doing it and not that worn down by it and all that energy. And I mean, not that I don't have that now, but as you get older, failures happen and stuff throws you for the loop, and you're still like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, whatever, but you're sort of like a little more cautious, a little more like, oh, well, maybe I'll do that instead of this and whatever. Whereas when, I mean, I guess that could be different ages for some people. Some people could be my age right now and at that state, but for me it happened maybe a little early, like I said, from about 21 to 22, and I was like going out there getting it done, right, and very healthy. Like, not that I'm not healthy now, but like I was really healthy then. Like really, really healthy then.
Really healthy.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Well, this concludes our test of this camera, this Canon camera, and let's hope that we yield wonderful results.
So now I am getting prepared for an interview, and you are going to see Peter Nichols in his process of lining up this interview. Hope you enjoy that.
Okay, give her.
You have a question to start off with,
I
though?
want you to clap. That wasn't a clap. Well, hopefully the audio is set up now. We are really tired of the homelessness on this planet. And so these are early interviews to start a worldwide movement that is going to ensure that everybody has a home. I think it's civilized. I think part of humanity is being human, and I think that's recognizing other humans and the very basic essential needs of homelessness. And we are the solution. We humans are the solution. So I want to ask Kirk, how are we going to solve this very, very important issue?
Well, so it's a very deep and often disturbing concept, and if I'd be granted to, I would say a bit of a story myself, and then I'll move on to the solution. I spent a fair amount of time being somewhat of a help, somewhat of an aid to people who were in these situations, and not for a job, not as a title, and not officially or being paid or like anything like that. I just came across some people, some friends who were going through this kind of stuff, and I did what I could to sort of, put some inspiration into them, give them some creative projects to work on, and just kind of give them some advice, at least to the best I could anyway. And at the beginning I was a little naive about it, and then I started to learn some more things. And it's really kind of a dark and disturbing thing, in the sense that I think anybody who has any experience with that world, when you're doing things that you have the privilege to do, and even though, like I work for what I'm able to do, you work for what you're able to do, like we're responsible people to get that done. So I think that's a lot of it too, is people need to be responsible, people need to lift their own selves up and be like, okay, I'm gonna get my things, and I'm gonna get my ducks in line, per se, right? And I think we can't be too sensitive, we gotta push people to do that. But still, once you've experienced some of the darker aspects of that lifestyle, whether you've worked for it or have earned it or not, when you're doing things that you have the privilege to do, all of a sudden these thoughts that somebody can't do this, somebody's struggling to be able to do this, somebody, whenever you're in an emotional state or something bad's happened to you, you think somebody got emotionally hurt so bad at some point in time that they resorted to living a really terrible lifestyle, or gave up to the point where they can't be responsible to, well, they can, but they have a really hard time being responsible to get the things they need. So I think everybody, it's a pretty common saying. It's been said to us since we were kids, but not a lot of us follow through with it. I think everybody should have those things on their mind. That would be one part of the solution, is just when you're doing your stuff, don't be on such a high horse about it. You work for it, you should be proud of that, but just keep in mind that there are people that are in situations where they cannot do what you have the privilege to do. And as far as further solutions, I think it's mainly just a community effort and isn't all about shelters and it isn't all about this, that, or the other. I think if people cut back on their judgments and just sort of, said, hey, I see you're in a bad situation. I'm gonna give you this artistic project, or I'm gonna give you this work, even if it's just small work, these little things to do, and in turn, I'll slowly start kind of giving you tools to better yourself. I think if you put people in a proper context where they can save themselves, per se, they will put in the work to do it, and they will do the work if they can choose their own load to carry, per se. And but instead we just make shelters and we're just all super sensitive and we all just kind of either pretend it's not there or just throw some coins in a jar or something and call it a day, right? Whereas if we give people the proper context and actually do some work ourselves to put people in that place where they can get the motivation and the tools to better themselves, then I think most people will. Some won't, and there's always going to be some that fall through the cracks, unfortunately. It's a sad thing to say, but it's true. But I think most people will do the work to better themselves under the right circumstances. It's my take on it.
So we need to act more compassionately?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't even call it compassion. I would just say, you got to use your brain a little bit. There are people that are dangerous and whatnot, but if you just kind of learn to study people a little better, to pick up on those things and pick up on when it's relevant and when it's not relevant, just find somebody who's living homelessly or living a lifestyle that is rough and just be like, sort of like, hey, I see you're in this situation, you know what, I know somebody, or I have a garden that could be trimmed up a little bit, I'm going to put you on that, and in turn I will start, I'm not going to give you a place to stay, I'm not going to whatever, but I can give you some food, and besides just essentials like that, I can, each time you help out a little bit, I can give you a small tool, a package deal, I guess, a bit of advice, a physical tool, another place to go, another contact number, whatever, where you can slowly start forming a circle of change and forming a circle of, of, like I just said, the proper context to rescue yourself. And I think if you're not so much of a compassionate pushover and they're all super sensitive, yet you're not super rough and like, oh, like, this is your fault, like, get out of my face kind of a thing. If you just kind of find the balance in between of being like, okay, I'm going to help you out a little bit, but I'm not going to be so compassionate that I help you out entirely. I'm just going to put you on that wheel to better yourself. And then when somebody does better themselves, they'll be more proud of what they've done if they've actually put the work in themselves. And the problem is that people don't do that. People just are disturbed about it and they go, I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want any part of this, or I'm just going to throw some money at it and I did my good deed for the day and I'm going to walk away. They don't go, hey, I have something that you could do, even if it's just a quick thing right now, I have something that you could do, and in turn you will receive a small tool that can help you out in your journey.
Well, I'm glad that we're doing this video for study purposes as well, because everything that you've just described is very compassionate, and sometimes the most compassionate thing to do is nothing. That is within the realm of compassion. And so compassion is having the wisdom to do what you can when it's within your ability to do so. And I think that we have a wrap on this one for now.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Kirk.
So another interview.
I was wondering what it would look like if you became a non-smoker.
What would it look like if I became a non-smoker? Well, I've became a non-smoker many times. That's the thing. It's something that always finds its way back into my life, I guess. But I have it under a lot more control now than I ever did before. But yeah, I mean, what it would look like to become a non-smoker, it would be a good thing. It wouldn't really look like anything. It would just be the not a bad habit in my life anymore. But I do only smoke. I mean, I guess I'm making excuses now. You're putting me on the spot. I'm making excuses, but I only smoke natural tobacco now. I don't buy the mainstream cigarettes with gasoline and cyanide in them and all that kind of stuff, which I smoked my fair share of those ones, don't get me wrong. But there's times in my life, and still the odd day, that I smoke way too much more than I'm proud of. But for the most part, on a normal day-to-day basis, I have it at a pretty even flow, I think, for a smoker anyway. I try to keep it, depends on the day, depends on the mood, it depends on the weather, it depends on everything, which are all excuses, I know. But, for the most part, I keep it, I wouldn't call it at a healthy level, but I keep it at a level that won't destroy somebody as quick as packs a day, I guess, right? So, yeah, that's about that.
Okay, so a follow-up question then would be, how does one overcome adversity?
Persistence. Of course, it's resilience. Before this interview, Peter was mentioning to me about the idea of resilience, and I think resilience is very important, and I think people that have a higher level of resilience tend to be more successful and tend to get their needs met a little better. Might take a little longer, but they get them met a little better. But a good way to practice resilience, as well as just get there, get to where you need to be, is just go for 1% better every day, and not 10%, not 20%, not 100%. Otherwise, you'll crash and burn. I learned that on the other interview when we spoke about when I was 21 to 23. I did very well, but I was getting almost 100% better every day, and it felt fantastic for 2 years. But guess what? You can't keep up to it, and there's a crash, and it takes a while to get out of that crash. So I think go for 1% better every day, long term, and persist. You want to be a filmmaker, you want to be somebody that's in interviews like this all the time, you want to make that your living, which it's not my living, it's a hobby right now, but you want to make that your living. You want to be an artist, you want to be a car mechanic, whatever it is you want to be, just persist at it, you know, through all the problems. Just do a little thing. There's been times when my life has been busy, but I still have made at least one sentence in my notebook where I keep all my scripts. I still took in at least one photograph or one 30-second video, something like that every day, you know, or at least whenever you can. Just keep don't forget about it, don't lose track, just keep persisting. It's even like you want to get better communication skills, just keep you know, it's actually to build up communication skills, put yourself in front of a camera like this, even if you're not posting it. Just keep talking to people, go around people that you're uncomfortable with, go around pretty women, go around business people, go around people that don't like you. Try to communicate, try to make conversation. Well, so got some interviews in today. That's always good. It's good to puke out thoughts on things. Usually stuff like that ends up happening when I visit the guys at the art gallery there. It's a big artistic collab ongoing, which is great. So I'm back in the trails now. I'm on my way back up to Upper Gibsons, as I find Lower Gibsons, the morning and the evening are the best times to be there. It's when things are most likely to happen. In the middle of the afternoon, people tend to kind of take a bit of downtime there and focus on some things and do their stuff, which is cool. I'm not one for downtime tons, a little bit, but not tons. So usually after the morning, it's good to book out of there for a bit, and good time to head back into the trails. And check it out later in the evening, maybe not, I don't know, we'll see. But like I said, this video is just called Reflections, so it's just I believe that the stuff I am speaking about and showing you is worth your time, but other than that, it's just there's some interesting things that one can get up to doing on a nice day in Gibsons.